faster if I just turn it off. Hit 5 seconds. Entertaining Let her rip.
Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 417. My name is Mel Popeye Moss, and next to me here is Mel O.G. Robbins. We are with Texas Biker Radio, who are with you every Tuesday night, each and every week, sponsored by Sons of Liberty Riders MC. And good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing good, except for these damned allergies.
I hear that. It is allergy season here in Texas, and everybody is suffering, including me. But OG, let's get right into it. We got some motorcycle stuff to talk about.
Oh,
and it's really,
finally.
Yeah. And it's really very serious. I'm saying this is very, very serious for all these motorcycle manufacturers out there. Because as today, Texas Defenders sent out a message that motorcycle registrations in Texas are down. I think severely down. And as of today, Texas has 332,790 registered motorcycles in the state. Now that is way behind states like California and Philadelphia and so on. But the top four cities in Texas are Houston with around 35,000 registered motorcycles. And surprising, OG, it's Tarrant County that comes in second.
Big county.
At about 25,000 registered motorcycles. Dallas is a distant third at about 18,000. That's surprising to me. I think that is shocked. And coming in fourth is Austin at around 14,000. And then there's everybody else.
Is it possible? Just saying, is it possible that some guys just don't have the money to register yet?
That may be true because the cost of registering a motorcycle has gone up. I just did mine.
And I believe doesn't the governor still have some kind of a lax period
Yeah.
going on out there? That
Yeah,
if
it's,
you're
that's still going
Yeah.
on.
where if you're running with expired registration,
Yeah,
you're okay as long as it's within a couple months.
right, right.
Okay.
That is still going on because of the Chinese virus. Let's call it what it is. If you want to get real technical, it's the novel coronavirus.
There's a few other things I'd like to call it
Yeah,
too.
it's about well, we won't get into those words right now. We'll wait a little bit. Yeah. But wow, and so motorcycle manufacturers, and especially Harley Davidson right now, every advertisement I see is for the live wire. So they're trying all they can to push sales of the live wire because I do not believe they're selling.
Who the hell can afford one?
Yeah. And the ones that do have them in their showrooms don't really move them that fast, from what I'm seeing.
Now, I did read an interesting article in the last Hog magazine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Harley Owners Group mag that's put out. There is a dude, I think it's over in the Netherlands or one of those countries, did over 1,000 miles on a live wire in 24 hours.
Really?
Really. Now, there was a hell of a lot of stopping for 20 minutes and a hell of a lot of scooting. But I think what they didn't talk about was, if I remember right, he started somewhere in the Alps. Now, those suckers are capable of recharging if you're coasting downhill.
Yeah. There you go.
So if he started in the Alps, I think that's cheating.
Yeah.
That is not like starting in Dallas headed through Texas.
Yeah. Especially out west Texas where everything's flat.
Right.
So, Harley Davidson, you've got to prove to us that this thing is reliable.
Well, it also needs a noise source.
Yeah, yeah. Now, it does whine when you ride it. But what we also understand, and I think we may have already touched on this, that the live wire, when you back off the throttle, really slows down in a hurry because of that electric motor. And I would think that on wet pavement, especially when it's first started raining and it's really slick, that would be a problem if the motor is like a Jake brake, like your truck has.
Lord love a duck, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know whether the motorcycle accounts for poor weather, but we'll see as things go along here, as there's more of them out there, if there ever gets to be more of them out there, because I think I've seen one on the road.
That's one more than I've seen.
Well, he really passed us. He was going fast, and those things, they'll go fast, that's for sure.
For a short period of time.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what's going on. And let me say this, Mel. These manufacturers are trying to figure out what to do. Because as you've seen, Honda and others, they started making these little almost look like mini bikes, little sport bikes, little tiny ones. They're selling them for $3,500 a pop. Now I see that those make great pit bikes, and they also, for putting around the college, couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. But let me say this. The kids nowadays, because they're used to sitting on their asses and playing video games, are not very good at outdoor activities. And motorcycles are an outdoor activity. in which you know, you spend a lot of time outside, a lot of time in the sun, a lot of time in the cold, and so it.
And you don't find too many pansies, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So kids nowadays have been turned into, like you said, pansies. So if you don't want your son to be one, buy him a motorcycle. Or her, buy him a motorcycle. That's good. I don't know why I don't see the chat line moving. So, I can't worry about that. It is what it is. And you know, OG, I always say that motorcyclists are the last free spirits in America.
The last Iron Horseman.
That's right. And we need to make sure things continue. We need to make sure that our kids pick up the mantle and run with it. Pick up the torch and run with it. Pick up the bike, motorcycle, and run with it. That's what we need going on in our community. So, man, like I said, manufacturers are struggling on what to do.
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot. They can't figure out what the hell the market is.
Exactly.
You know, these snowflakes would rather go out and buy a new Xbox.
Yeah.
Or a new video game.
Yeah.
Than get out and ride.
Yes.
Riding's too dangerous for them.
Yeah.
It's bad enough they fall off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and parents let them live in the basement.
That's true.
So, it's doom and gloom right now for the manufacturers. They got to get things figured out, but there are things I think that the community, our community, are trying. They're trying to reintroduce bicycle riding in grammar school, kindergarten. They're taking bicycles in because that's the precursor to riding a motorcycle.
It's true.
And, you know, maybe they do need to start coming out with, like they used to have Cushmans and Mustangs for the kids to ride.
Right.
Because they kind of got away from that.
Yeah, they did.
So if you start coming out with stuff like that, I've noticed a lot of times when the club's out riding, if we start getting around some young kids in neighborhoods, they do watch.
Mm-hmm.
They do watch. They seem to really think it's cool. You know, so maybe we need to do our part and find places that have a lot of kids and start riding by them.
Right.
But there used to be a lot more romance involved.
Now, and you know, there still is a mystique.
Yes.
There still is. It's out there. And you know, we find this out every time we go to an event, whether it be a political event or whether it be on legislative day in the state capitol, where if the secretaries of the legislators, if they don't get a visit from a biker, they get upset. They get upset. And we had to stick around one day while we were there on the legislative day in the Texas Capitol. We had to go around to some offices that didn't get any bikers to their offices. So we went to take care of that desire.
No sacrifice is too great.
No sacrifice is too great when it comes to legislative day, and also the women.
Absolutely.
Young looking, good looking girls. Hey, those legislators ain't fools. They're not fools. They always have these young staffs. Oh yeah. Pretty incredible. Hey, somebody on the chat line say something so we know you're there. So at least it's working. That's the main part. Is it working? Well, OG, let's move on to some more motorcycle stuff. Are you guys ready? Let's talk about Abel Reyna. Now, in case you don't know, Abel Reyna is the former DA of McLennan County. He's the former DA. And he is the one that tried to send 150-something motorcyclists, had them under $1 million bonds, and had messed with them for the most part of 4 years. He had one trial. It ended up in a mistrial because the person that was on trial was more likable than Abel Reyna. And besides that, Abel Reyna kind of shit in his mess kit, to put it simple. Young Hispanic DA had everything going for him. He was Republican. He was their poster child, Hispanic politician. He had everything working for him.
And most people don't know this, but he was actually backed by the biker community.
Yes.
When he ran for his first term.
Yeah. So he just gets this grandiose idea that he's going to send all these people to jail, claiming they were all 1%ers, and not all of them were. They were people. Most people that were there was there for a political meeting. They weren't there to fight. They weren't there to cause problems. They were there for a political meeting. And we know what the news of the day was whenever this happened. But anyway, Abel Reyna was run out of town on a rail. And bikers have now, after that 4 years, there were bikers that had filed lawsuits. Now those lawsuits are tied up in the courts, and right now, Abel Reyna is seeking qualified immunity, or it's before the Fifth Court of Appeals.
Fifth Circuit.
Fifth Circuit is before them to whether he deserves or needs qualified immunity to keep from being sued by the bikers. This is what this is all about. They're fighting back. Now, we do not know when the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals will make a decision on this, or even if they will. But understand, I just told you, understand what it is. It's what protects politicians, law enforcement officers, and a great many people. Judges, qualified immunity protects them.
But I think the original intent for qualified immunity was if they didn't do something, if they did something wrong but not on purpose.
Right.
If they just kind of screwed up. I think Abel Reyna more than demonstrated his actions were well thought out. It was like the difference between manslaughter and first-degree murder. This was pre-planned. If you remember, there was testimony where the police department had gone out and talked to the president of the Cossacks at that time, asking him if they were ready.
Yeah.
And, he testified to this. I don't know if it was in court, but I remember it was damn sure on the news. And he made the statement, yeah, we're ready. We're really ready. Hell, they even stopped off before they got there and bought chains and padlocks.
Yeah.
So, and these were undercover agents within that organization that kept working it, getting things stirred up. Abel Reyna showed up. He took charge of the investigation, which is something a district attorney is never supposed to do.
Stole it from the police department.
That's right. So, we are not talking about qualified immunity for somebody that was just a dumbass.
Yeah.
We're talking about qualified immunity for somebody that plotted and schemed to do wrong, to hurt people, and destroy lives.
Yes.
For his sole benefit and his trip, his dream trip to Austin. I think he had it in his mind he was either going to be the AG or the governor.
The governor. Moving on up. Moving on up, everybody.
Yep. That was Abel Reyna. And for him to go for qualified immunity, and if the 5th District grants it, it's just yet another travesty of, like Popeye always says, laws for them and laws for us.
That's true. That's true. But now I was reading up on this now that the courts can be swayed. They can be swayed by public opinion. So everybody keep that in mind. All you guys that are political. I mean, you want to get out in front of the Fifth Circuit? Let us know. Maybe we should do just that. I mean, there is a reason that people go out and protest before the Supreme Court. They're trying to sway the judges' decisions. That's if they're watching the news or anything else that's going on. And I would say this, some of them do. Some of them do. And that's the reason right now, well, we'll be talking about it here in a minute, the Democrats are going nuts over this next Supreme Court election. But right now, we're talking about Texas and what's going on here. And in Louisiana, because that's where the 5th Circuit is at.
Yeah.
So, we've got to keep an eye on that and what's going to happen. I had the idea that qualified immunity, why not stop with the police? Why not stop with crooked DAs? Why not stop with judges? And our politicians that are just creating one piece of malpractice after the other. Just saying, everybody, why stop with police officers and everybody else? Why not the politicians themselves? But they don't want to get rid of that, OG. They don't want to get rid of that.
It is time for the justice system to sit up, take notice, and start thinking about and analyzing, did these people make a mistake? Or did they pre-plan this and go about it maliciously? Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, qualified immunity should be absolutely disqualified.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're ready to ride if anybody else is. Just saying. Just saying. Wow. Hey, now the big question going on out there, everybody sees all the China virus crap going on. That's all the media can do is bitch about the President Trump and everybody else not wearing masks. Now the latest thing was, if you're outside, hey, you're less likely to get it, and especially if you're in any place in a warm area, like Texas, like Florida, like California, that's locked up so bad that people are leaving. New York, locked up so bad that people are leaving. Chicago, locked up so bad, people are leaving. The list runs on and on and on of people that are fleeing Democratic-run states and cities. But OG, I suggest we go ahead and spite everyone and go ahead and have Halloween. But there's a lot of places out there that are saying, no Halloween, it's too dangerous. Everything is too dangerous. Everything is too dangerous. Stay in your damn house. Don't go to a restaurant, you can catch COVID, the Chinese virus. Don't go to a bar, you can catch the Chinese virus. Don't go here, don't go there, let's cancel everything. They canceled our state fair.
Yep.
They canceled the Fort Worth Stock Show.
And
But I suggest we have Halloween. Fuck them.
there's already articles out there about the possibility of a second lockdown when the cold weather hits, and how devastating that could be to a lot of people.
And if you're Joe Biden, that you've said that's exactly what you will do, is lock it down. I mean, how many lives do they want to destroy? Just how many do they want to destroy? And I'm not even talking about the damn Chinese virus. I'm talking about people's ability to take care of their families. Because I promise you, right now, they're making all kinds of promises about throwing money around out there. And they will in the short term. But they're not going to keep that up. Oh, hell no. They've got to try and take care of the world. That's what they got to try and do. There's not enough money in our banks to do that. But I do suggest that you go ahead and have Halloween in some form. Do something with your kids. Get them outside and away from the damn video games. Halloween is, for the most part, a wholesome thing. Everybody loves to party. Everybody loves to dress up. So let's rock and roll with it, everybody. To hell with these people that are trying to tell us how to live our lives. And we're just not going to have it. Just not going to have it. If you're a free spirit, you're not going to have it. And that's the truth of it all. But OG, let's jump to the polls.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about, there's no way any of these polls are really reliable. You can make a poll come out any way you want it, just off of where you're calling. And for me, OG, I've never been called by a pollster.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So
Gee, I wonder why. I'm also still in Facebook prison.
Oh, are you?
Yep.
Are you? Wait, there is this guy, everybody, and I'm going to show you something here real quick. This guy, that's Steve Deace, D-E-A-C-E. He has the posters pegged. I suggest you find one of his videos, and we'll post a link down here below to his comments in his podcast, where he says all the polls are BS. They're BS. And he explains to you why. Better than I can. It's better to watch it from the horse's mouth. It really is. Check this guy out. Check that guy out and listen to what he has to say, because the news media is just trying to discourage people. That is all they're trying to do.
If they can make you believe that Biden has already won,
Yeah.
then a lot of people are just going to say, what the hell difference is it going to make if I go? And they'll stay home.
Yeah.
That's all they're trying to accomplish with that.
Don't fall for it, everybody. Don't fall for it. We've got, like I said in past shows, we've got work to do. Had to take care of some business right there. Yeah. So don't fall for these false narratives, I guess you would say, that Trump is behind, that Trump is losing. It just, like Steve D says, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So keep that in mind as you go to the polls. If I was close to you, I would take you myself. But in many cases, we're not. And the chat room is not working for some reason, guys. Don't know. I've tried to get it going, but can't. Let me see. Pelosi and her 25th Amendment scheme. There's question now. People are saying, well, that 25th Amendment, the reason they're talking about that is about Joe Biden, not President Trump. It's about Joe Biden. They want to push him out of the way fast. And we've talked about this. And he's made more gaffes in the last couple of days. Nobody's showing up for their so-called rallies. Nobody's showing up. In Arizona the other day, I think about 8 showed up. And most of them were reporters. And the reporters there didn't understand it. They didn't understand it at all. What the hell's happening? Where's the supporters?
Well, didn't you hear Camel Humper during her debate normally it's referred to as the Biden-Harris campaign.
Right.
She refers to it as the Harris-Biden ticket.
Yeah.
So she's being right up front. She made the classical Freudian slip as to what's really going on and what she's really thinking about.
There you go.
And it's President Harris, not Vice President Harris.
Next time and I have seen it, a Harris-Biden sign.
Yep.
Next time I see that, matter of fact, I'll go over where I saw that and see if I can get a picture of it. It's actually pretty incredible. And like OG said, they're telling on themselves. Yep. And you know, OG, all these kids are out there marching around in the street, talking about they're against fascists, they're against capitalism, they're against this, they're against that. But you know, they don't realize, and they hate the corporate world. They don't realize that the people that they're going to vote for, the corporate world is aligned with them, with Biden, Harris, Biden, however you want to say it. Corporations are lined up, they're donating them money. And yet these kids who are against corporatism, who are against government, who are against fascists, and matter of fact, I bet most of them can't tell you what a fascist is. And like they were saying, OG, it's easier to get rid of one old man than it is a fascist.
Absolutely. They're counting on it.
Yeah. And of course, they're going to find out real quick it wasn't what they thought it was or been told it is by their teachers and college professors. Because all they're doing is taking minds full of mush and turning them into anarchists, socialists, communists, whatever word you want to throw on it. That's what they're doing. That's the reason I'm all for private schools that you can get into with vouchers and whatever else. School of your choice. Instead of these public schools, and we're seeing the end product in the streets every night.
I am going to prophesy that before too many more years, you will start to see statements about shortages that we're going to have in the
Yeah.
professional career area, in the technical areas, in the service areas,
Yeah.
in anybody working area other than, would you like those fries and drink upgraded?
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of those folk out there.
They
But-
are going to flood the country with them, OG.
Yep. Now, what they don't understand is that $15 an hour minimum wage is going to do away with that job,
Yeah.
and we're going to be ordering from a kiosk
Yes.
like we do a lot now.
They've already got that computerized hamburger machine that can produce 350 hamburgers an hour.
And how about self-checkout?
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in to a Walmart store today, and I've been in several,
Yeah.
and you walk up to check out, and in these huge supercenters, they might have one cashier going,
Yeah.
and all of the check yourself out lanes are flooded. You even have to stand in line for those now.
And you know, you're lucky if they're all working.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a line of people. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody except that Lowe's across the street from me, but they don't have any self checkout counters. No, they don't want it because it jacks with the manager's bonus.
Well, and
They think-
then you're still standing there waiting on one or two cashiers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's never enough cashiers there. I'm just saying, everybody. Just saying. Well, something caught my eye today, OG, and this, I've said many times about the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. Now, understand, everybody, if Donald Trump loses this election, the deep state is going to go out of control. There will be no investigations of the Clinton Foundation. There will be no investigations of Hillary Clinton herself. There will be no investigations of any Democrat that has done wrongdoing.
You might even see the Clinton Foundation crawl back out from under the rockets.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Chelsea and her father, Bill, have been running around the country doing speeches and stuff on how to indoctrinate the children. That's basically what they're doing right now. They have each year been collecting less and less money. But at one point they had $2 billion. Now I'm not too sure if they still have that much, or if, as Chelsea said, hey, we got to get on the ball, we're going to end up in jail over this mess. So I assume they had to start putting out some money out of the foundation. But there was going to be an investigation about it. There is going to be an investigation of the Clinton Foundation unless Donald Trump is not elected. So if you really don't like the Clintons and you think, hey, they're a bunch of bad people, a bunch of thieves, now's your chance. Go vote for Trump. Make sure he stays in office so we get some kind of judicial victory over what's been going on over the last few decades. I'm just saying, everybody. Just saying. We want to make sure that happens. We want to make sure that these people that are guilty of all different kinds of transgressions pay for it. Pay for it. And that includes members of the FBI that I think should be defunded.
Well, that begs the question: what the hell's going on with Barr?
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like none of these Republicans have any balls to do anything.
No.
They just exist. They collect a paycheck. They go to restaurants, use their expense account. You've got, all of these documents have now been declassified. All this crap has been going on forever. And nothing is happening.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. No one's being held accountable.
We've got to hold them all accountable, and the first way we do that is not voting for these pricks anymore. Not voting for them. Just think about it, everybody. Since Joe Biden left office, he's made $16 million. And you talking about avoid taxes. They formed an S corporation for the money they've been bringing in doing books and speeches. And why anybody would want to go to their speeches, I have no idea. Because they can't get them to show up for his rallies. Can't get them to show up for that. You think they're going to spend the money to buy a book? So anyway, they've made $16 million. They formed the S corporation. And guess what? They're trying to pay less taxes.
Well, you know why they form an S corporation instead of as an individual doing business?
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Well, yes, I will. You know, if you're a politician, you're in business, and you want to be able to claim all kinds of different expenses against your income. You're insane if you don't. So, if I continue to do business as an individual, according to the IRS, I can only claim a loss. It's like no more than 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then the IRS will throw out my individual business and declare it a hobby and say, you don't have any expenses, all of it's income.
Right.
But if I form a sub-S corporation, now a sub-S, the only difference between a sub-S and a regular corporation is the fact that a sub-S has, it's a little more liberal relative to what you can do with a sub-S corp. With a full corporation or a sub-S corporation, you're limited to the amount of income you can have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps you as a sub-S. But as a corporation, there is no law that says that a corporation has to make a profit. You can declare a loss for 100 years in a row, and the IRS can't touch you. That's why they form these corporations.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, like we talked about, the riots are going on, and of course, the inferior product that we get from the schools, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some of them here, and there we go. Look at that. They want to ban hate, but they hate everybody, especially if you have a different opinion than they do.
Does she need to shave her armpits?
Yep, probably.
Good Lord.
What do you guys in the chat room think? She needs to shave her armpits? Just saying, everybody. Just saying. This is, and she's probably a teacher.
She has that look.
She's one of these teachers out there that are putting out a inferior product. But wait, let's not stop with that one. Let's look at this group. Oh yeah. Now this is another no hate group, and probably a bunch of the LGBTQXYZ communities, and they're all full of love. OG, they're full of love.
Hippie wannabes.
Yeah. So it's an incredible thing what we're seeing. Now these young people. Now, like I said, most of them can't tell you what a fascist is. Most of them hadn't been around long enough to really understand communism, and that's something we've been fighting all our life. We went to war over it. We went to war over it. Communism trying to spread around the world. And here we are, our children are being trained to just hand it over to them. To hand it over to them.
In fact, they used to teach that in boot camp.
Yeah.
When you joined the military and you went to boot camp, one of the classes you go to, they explain to you what the Communist Manifesto is, what communism's all about, and why we're there to fight it.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we finally did get the chat room to working. We had to put it in a pop-out block, meaning it comes up on another screen, and we can see it now. So if you'd like to say something, remember, if you're going to cuss, they're going to block you. So if you're going to say a curse word, misspell it. Misspell it. It keeps you and us out of trouble. Yeah.
Use symbols.
Yeah. Exactly. It's pretty funny how things are going. But YouTube has been okay with us. They haven't thrown us off yet. And if they do, you will find us at TexasBikerRadio.org. They can't stop that. But YouTube is a good platform. It really is. And so we'll just keep working as long as they will let us. We don't say anything that anybody shouldn't hear. Anything anybody should be educated about, whether it be communism or what's going on within the biker world.
You know, as a matter of fact, we had even some months back told individuals who had said to us, you know, sometimes your program sounds like you're slanted one way.
Yeah.
And we had said, you know, we will absolutely do our best to maintain, we recognize what you're saying, and we will do our absolute best to try and maintain a middle-of-the-road, actual fact kind of a scenario. But given the crap that's been going on here for the past several months, between the China flu, the chaos with all of these riots going on, burning cities, taking over sections of cities, Democratic-run states that are the primary areas for this, the lunacy that is being talked by Biden and Harris. We have no choice. I mean, you have to be out of your fricking mind to vote for Biden-Harris. I mean, I can't think of one iota of anything that gives me reason to even consider voting for these people. And you can't not vote for no one, because that means that the idiots win.
Yeah.
That's the way it always happens. So, yeah, you hear us pushing Trump. And again, I mean, I'll be the first to say there are several things I don't particularly care for in Trump. But it's nothing. I mean, the guy made certain promises when he was elected, and he has kept those promises that he's been allowed to keep. I mean, there have been certain roadblocks thrown his way by Congress that haven't allowed certain things to happen yet, but he's pushing hard. The man is not a politician. He certainly is not real polished when it comes to his speeches.
He's rude and crude.
Yes, he is rude and crude, but you know what? He is saying what the hell we're thinking.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about. So you got to respect him for that. So that is why you see us slanted in the direction we're slanted at this point. We feel there is no choice. Our Second Amendment is in danger. Our First Amendment is in danger. We're about to be locked down again if we're not careful. And I mean, short of talking civil disobedience here,
yeah,
everyone needs to be thinking about, what the hell am I going to do? You can't go on like this forever.
No.
It's destroying everything and everybody that we know. Who the hell out there wants to continue to live this way? I damn sure don't. I am disgusted and discouraged. I am watching businesses go up in smoke. I was reading an article today. There is a restaurant in Abilene, Kansas, that for 4 generations has made the best fried chicken ever.
Yeah.
People drove up from Wichita Falls all the time to eat in this place. When the Chinese virus hit and they started shutting places down, the only thing that kept this guy alive was the guaranteed wage loan that the government came out with, and he was able to use most of that to salvage a lot of his employees and to pay rent and to pay the gas bill, which is what restaurants need to do. That's no longer available. This guy even started hauling his own garbage to the dump to try and save $375 a month to keep the business afloat. They used to be able to count on a few buses a week of tourists that were coming out to see some museum that's in the town, so they'd stop at the restaurant, and that kind of kept them alive. Well, guess what? The museum has been closed now for months, and they get maybe a couple buses a month. They have now closed the business. These people are done. And this guy is saying, I can't retire. Yeah. I have to go find another job. Now, he's currently working as a courier. This crap has to stop. I've got all the respect in the world for this Chinese virus. It's been described as a horrible type flu, horrible type cold. It's a bronchial condition, and it can take you down. However, so can the flu every year. You know, you can't live in damn fear for the rest of your life. There are now children that are terrified to go out in public and insist on wearing a mask and are terrified for their parents to go out. This is what's being taught people. You watch some people, and they're actually uncomfortable now being around other people.
Yeah.
What the hell's happening to everybody? I'm telling you, it's time for this to stop. We have, as a club, we have been to a lot of places. We've started a new charter. We've been down in southern Texas. We've been in eastern Texas. We've been in northern Texas. Yeah, we try to be as cautious as we can, just like you are during the flu season. You don't walk up and hug everybody when the flu season's going on. And thank God, knock on wood, we haven't gotten anything yet. Not saying it can't happen, but we're saying, what the hell? You know, I mean, I think we're kind of proof you can move around and do a lot of things you want to do.
Yeah.
I've been working on a house for the last 2 months. You know how many times I have been in and out of various stores that have been packed with people? I am old, okay? I am supposed to be one of the very fragile senior citizens that can be struck down in a hot second with this. And I guess if God wants to be cruel, he can strike me down now for saying this. However, I'm okay. Just exercising a little caution, just like you do during flu and cold season. People, stop being afraid. Be prepared to do something about this. And I'm not talking about sitting on your ass. I'm talking about if they come out with some frickin' mandate that says we got to be locked down or we got to wear a mask 24/7 even while we're driving down the road, I'm saying bullshit. That's it. I'm done.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Didn't expect that out of me tonight, did you?
Anything was going to get him riled up, that was going to be it. That was going to be it. But what he's doing here is telling you the truth. Is what he's doing. We can't live in fear. We've got to get out there and do things to save this country, not to throw it under the bus, not for all these crazy mandates. where the cure is worse than the disease itself. And people are not going to put up with this. Again and again and again. They're not going to put up with it. Now, hopefully, the things that Donald Trump has done is going to help with this. That there's going to be therapeutics, cures, vaccines. Everything's coming along really quick. And for the Democrats to be out there poo-pooing everything that's been done is just wrong. And we're tired of seeing them act up and act stupid. And OG, that gets me around to Stimulus for the People.
Yes.
We created a Facebook site called Stimulus for the People. Go there, participate, like it, share it. We'll be putting some more stuff on there this week. And while you're at it, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us spread the word. And you know, OG, with everything we see going on out there, in San Francisco Bay, they had a boat parade for Trump. In Florida, they've been having them for months. They had a 30,000 car parade. I forget where that's at. But it was in a liberal state, I do believe. They have all this stuff going on, and you just have to see the excitement that's out there. That people do not want the country to go into a socialist abyss. They just do not. So it's our job to save it. It's our job to do that by going to vote in person. Don't trust it to a damn postman. Don't trust it to a damn post office. Don't trust it to anybody. Anybody. Anybody comes around your house wanting to take your absentee ballot in or your mail-in ballot in. Oh, I'll fill it out for you. Tell them to go to hell. Get out of your face. Get out of your face. You'll vote for yourself. And especially you elderly people who may be having a hard time getting around. You may be in a nursing home facility, like my father is at 92. Assisted living. If we have to, we'll on November 3rd, we'll get out there and take people to the polls to vote in person. Yeah, we will. I'll do it myself. China virus and no China virus. And OG has control of the hog, and he can't wait to do it. Hey, and while I was talking to Abel Reyna, did I show him to everybody?
No.
Okay, let me show you guys. I meant to do this whenever. There he is. That is Abel Reyna up there. That's what he looks like back in, I guess that was 2016, no, that would have been 2018. Anyway, that's what he looked like when we ran him out of office. Yeah. Quite the guy. Not. But anyway, I go to our Stimulus for the People. Nancy Pelosi needs to get off her ass and get the job done. Hand the president a clean bill without any damn pork and get it to the people. And we are going to have a rally. It's probably going to be after I get back. I will be on the road this weekend. So when we get back, we'll be doing a rally really quick. Really quick. I don't know whether we call it a rally or a protest, but that's what we were doing the other night on our motorcycles. We were going to scout out places. And that's always fun to do. because you're trying to, well, we want to show the colors, but at the same time we were being incognito. Just some bikers riding and having some fun. And a beer.
Doing a little reconnaissance.
Do a little recon, yeah. Yeah. I had flashbacks to my Navy days. Spent a lot of time with Marine Recon. But that's another story, everybody. That's another story. And hey, I'm going to have Alice Linehan on here pretty soon also. Alice Linehan, OG, is an expert on the school, the battles with the school boards and
great
these socialist style indoctrinations that they're putting on across the country. Common Core, they called it. Common Core. And she'll have plenty to say. She'll have plenty to say. So look for that soon. It'll be next week. Alice Linehan with Women on the Wall will be in studio, maybe virtual. She'll be telling us all about it and all the latest on what's going on in our schools. And we know it's bad, OG. We know it's bad just because of these people. These people. Now the other night, as I was watching the protests, and they're going on around the country now, their crowds are getting smaller and smaller. I think a lot of that has to do with the feds, those police officers that are deputized as federal police. They now end up before a federal judge instead of their local judge, where that DA will just put them back out on the streets. So they're not as apt to act up now.
Gets tricky with the feds because they have this thing called minimum sentencing guidelines.
Right.
And the judge cannot vary from that matrix.
Yeah.
He has very little latitude within that grid.
Listen to this. Listen to this, everybody. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm talking to these people. I'm talking to these people. Realize when you're convicted, or and the judge has to follow the guidelines of whatever your crime may be, whether it be burning down the building, looting a store, or whatever else. You're going to be in serious trouble if you end up in a federal court. You're going to be in serious trouble. And as we've seen already, they drop to the ground and start crying and carrying on. So think about it before you go do something that you shouldn't be doing. Anything you want to close with, OG?
No, I shot my...
There you go.
Shot across the bow.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. All right, everybody, I will be on again and again, probably even when I'm on the road. And we'll be back here next Tuesday night, OG and I, in studio, here in the Green Dragon Studio. Join us, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Subscribe to our channel, please. Share it. And look for more as we head in for a wild-ass election. It's going to be crazy, no matter what happens.
Go vote.
And there's many people out there right now think we're going to be in a civil war.
It's getting tough to buy ammunition, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we always say, everybody, buy ammo, buy a motorcycle, have some fun, and ride safe, everybody. Ride safe.
Good night.
Good night. See what